Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that's a bit different. Around about maybe 9 months ago, I was presenting at HypnoThoughts Live. It's the biggest hypnosis conference in the world. I was doing my presentation on movie metaphors, but while I was there, I was trying to pick the brains of world-class hypnotists training in all different areas. And one of the training sessions that I attended was a hypnotic ayahuasca ceremony. And it was from a lady who had been involved in facilitating ayahuasca ceremonies and wanted to create a hypnotic version of that. And I've never had ayahuasca, but I was curious about it because it was something that facilitates neuroplasticity, new experiences. And the people that I have met that have had an ayahuasca ceremony have told me that they got profound insight and a resolve, a desire to make really beneficial changes in their life. So that made me think that perhaps this ayahuasca ceremony itself invokes trance states and taps into the neuroplasticity of the human mind. So I was very curious. And this was about 9-10 months ago that I did this training, and I haven't had an opportunity to do it because it was on my list of sessions to create, and not surprisingly, clients don't really request this kind of hypnosis until today. And there was a client that had been involved in 2 different ayahuasca ceremonies and specifically asked to have a hypnotic version of that to get similar experiences, similar insights, similar level of connection, but without having to fly out to a jungle in South America to have the actual ceremony. So what you're going to hear is a hypnotic version of an ayahuasca ceremony, and certain components of it follow a particular sequence. Now, I look at this not to be the same or do the same as an actual ayahuasca ceremony, but more that it's a metaphor to tap into similar ways of thinking and to get similar insights. In many ways, you can think about it as in the difference between actual bariatric surgery, like a gastric band, and a virtual gastric band, something that happens in the mind. And I've done hundreds of hypnotic gastric bands. People don't believe they've actually had surgery on their stomach. They just get a sense that it is going through a similar process within their imagination to facilitate a new relationship with food and portions. Likewise, this hypnotic version of an ayahuasca ceremony is not because it's going to be the same as actually having ayahuasca. So if you've done various ayahuasca ceremonies, don't expect the same experience. But what was interesting is that when I did this training in Vegas about 10 months ago, there was 50 people in the room, all going through this guided visualization of the ayahuasca ceremony. And then at the end, she wanted feedback from the people that had gone through this experience. And what was interesting is that those people that had had ayahuasca ceremonies in real life had a more visceral experience than those people that just did the hypnosis session but had never had ayahuasca. So, and I guess it's worth explaining what ayahuasca is, just in case you've wondering, what I'm talking about here. Ayahuasca is a plant, it's a medicine that often there's a ritual hosted by a facilitator, quite often a shaman, to drink a brew, if you like, of this plant that has psychoactive properties that gives people a visceral experience, almost like a trip, you could call it. But in many ways, it's called a ceremony and it's called a medicine because of the healing properties. And it has certain things that go on. People tend to purge, they might vomit or diarrhea, but they tend to have a profound impact on themselves. So what you'll be listening to in this hypnosis session is a hypnotic version of the ayahuasca ceremony. If you like this, let me know by dropping me an email, adam@adamcox.co.uk, or drop me a message on Instagram, because there are other forms of psychoactives that I'd be curious to do hypnosis sessions on, things like psilocybin, other forms of DMT and things like that, but only if you guys out there find this interesting in some way. For now, though, just find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just get a sense that any tension, any stress is leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice any clues of tension. As you imagine breathing in that resourceful feeling of relaxation, just decide that now is the time to let go of that tension and really feel it melting away and leaving your body in your outward breath. I want you to position your body in a way that you feel even more comfortable. Notice the speed, the rhythm of your breathing. And on the next inward breath in, take a deeper breath than you normally would. Maybe 2 or 3 inward breaths, feeling your chest expand, your diaphragm open up. And then as you exhale, perhaps you can have 2 or 3 outward breaths before you take your next inward breath in, completely emptying your lungs and feeling all of that tension leave your body, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. But more importantly, I want you to imagine that you are opening up a portal, a gateway, a bridge to your subconscious mind. And as that gateway opens, as that bridge is being built, I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine an ancient forest. And deep in that forest, I want you to imagine a shaman, perhaps someone that looks like a wizard or a witch doctor. Someone that looks wise, but caring. And I want you to imagine they are preparing a ceremony. You can see them perhaps brewing different substances. And you get the idea that this is a ceremony to tap into something deep within you. I want you to notice what you notice in this forest. And perhaps you're there on your own, or perhaps you're surrounded by other people. But I want you to notice how safe you feel. What time of day it is. Any smells in the air. The temperature. I want you to notice all those things that you notice. And I want you to imagine the shaman there, letting you know what to expect. The process of preparing, perhaps setting intentions or communicating to spirits, what it would be like to actually drink the brew. That you can expect maybe music or chanting, a rhythm, and to expect to go on a journey inside your imagination. And that maybe afterwards you might be encouraged to share your experiences with other people that also experienced perhaps something unusual or powerful or unique. I want you to imagine that this shaman lets you know that sometimes the brew, the substance, may lead to a purge. That it's a completely normal part of a cleansing process. And whether that purge is vomiting or diarrhea, it's completely natural, but not necessary. The shaman explains that there might be dizziness or lightheadedness, but it's natural, and that if your heart rate goes up or goes down, or you feel lightheaded in any way, it's just part of this journey that you're going on, and that there is no need to fear any feelings of fear or anxiety or confusion. But if they do come up, there's no cause for concern. Just treat them like waves of emotion that will dissipate quickly. But the shaman explains that this is a decision that only you can make. No coercion, no expectation. It's a choice. And if you feel safe in this choice and prepared to make this choice, then perhaps it's the right choice for you. I want you to imagine it's getting perhaps later, and you're starting to hear gentle chanting, a rhythm, maybe some singing. And it's getting close to a time where you're invited to experience a substance that could take you on a journey. But before that happens, I want you to imagine that there is somewhere comfortable for you to sit, perhaps lie, there on the floor of that forest. I want you to imagine making yourself comfortable. Maybe there's a blanket, a mattress, something that you feel comfortable on. And I want you to get a sense that now is the right time to set your intentions. I want you to allow your intuition to guide you on the kind of guidance that you would like. Is it guidance on your future? A decision that perhaps you're not sure what is right for you? Maybe it's leading you to be more purposeful, to change something you value for something else you value even more. Be open to possibilities, but also set an intention of what you would like to happen in this powerful ceremony. And then I want you to imagine that you are starting an invocation of the spirits, asking for their guidance that links to your intention, but also asking for their protection throughout the experience. Maybe you can hear the crackling of a fire nearby. Maybe you can notice smells of the forest you didn't notice before. But at the point where you feel that you're about to be guided by spirits and protected by those spirits, then it's time in that forest, perhaps in a clearing, maybe nearby where a fire is burning. And perhaps on that fire something is brewing. Maybe a pot. Something that looks like a unique tea, brewing there by the fire. Maybe you can even feel the warmth of that fire, hearing the soft crackle of the flames. But notice how safe you feel, how protected you feel, knowing that you're about to experience the healing and transformative power of the ayahuasca. And when the time is right, this shaman that almost looks like a wizard offers you a cup of this ayahuasca brew. And notice how slowly and mindfully you drink this brew. Notice the temperature of the liquid on your lips, the taste, the texture. Maybe there's a bitter taste, but also be open to a sense of curiosity and excitement, knowing that this ancient brew could hold the key to unlocking an inner world. And I want you to imagine that you finish drinking this brew and your body is in a particular position there on that blanket or mattress, surrounded by the forest and people, and you feel a very positive, warm energy. You feel connected. And I want you to imagine you start to notice things. Maybe you notice things more when your eyes are closed. But notice whatever you notice. Maybe you notice a difference in your balance or in your perceptions, in your thoughts or your evaluations. And maybe you feel a sense of lightness or spaciousness in your mind and your body, as if you're floating on a cloud. But notice how strong a connection you feel, and notice who that connection is with. Maybe the connection is with yourself, or with you from the future, or maybe entities or spirits or just the natural world around you, as if you were just a musical note in a larger cosmic dance. Perhaps you can imagine what it would be like to see vivid colors and images in your mind's eye, almost as if you're in a dream. Maybe you see things that just come up. Maybe you get a sense of being guided. Maybe a realization comes to your mind. And the emotions are not good or bad, just emotions. Pain is useful if you can learn from it, and joy is useful if you can be grateful for it. Maybe you see scenes from your life, memories from the past, glimpses of you in the future, and tap into a feeling of being guided towards what you were meant to be doing, who you really are, a sense of deep, profound realization. And maybe you're unlocking more compassion, kindness, forgiveness for yourself and others. Nobody's perfect. So allow feelings of compassion and kindness and forgiveness to wash over you, like you're wiping the slate clean. And sometimes you focus on your inner experience, and sometimes you hear that outer world, maybe chanting, music, maybe the sound of a fire, or perhaps a breeze going through the leaves in the forest trees. I want you to be filled with a sense of peace and harmony, feeling your heart opening and expanding, as if you're connected to all living beings, humans, animals, and spirits in the entire universe. And just allow your mind to notice whatever it notices, to feel whatever you feel, and whatever thoughts and emotions come up, to just experience them just for the next 2 or 3 minutes, as you allow your mind to wander, and the powerful effects of the ayahuasca to guide you. Just allow your mind to experience whatever you experience. Notice any feelings of gratitude. Maybe you can feel a sense of power or reverence for this powerful medicine. In the animal kingdom, it's not unusual for certain animals to evolve in some way. And it doesn't have to be the caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Sometimes it could be a snake shedding its skin. Maybe some kind of creature leaving one shell for another. Sometimes it's necessary to let go of the past in order to fully move forward into the future. And notice that slowly the effects of this ayahuasca begin to fade. And as the feeling fades, your feeling of connection and gratitude increases. That the process of being transformed and guided is accelerating. You feel refreshed and renewed. And maybe you've experienced some insights already, or maybe those insights or guidance will come later. Like a sudden bolt of realization, an epiphany, a gut feel as to what's meant to be. As you become ready to bring any insights or feelings or powerful emotions, perhaps lessons that you've learned from this world into your real world, into your daily life. I want you to imagine that the ceremony is winding down and you're now sharing your experiences with other people that also experience the same thing. hear the words leave your mouth as you share what you found. And see how connected everyone is. They want to hear your words and you want to hear theirs. And maybe the insights that other people share give you a sense of deeper insights that you didn't notice before. And I want you to hear the words as you feel how this experience, this insight will affect life when you return away from the forest back in your normal daily life. And maybe this has been intense or challenging or relaxing and natural. Whatever you feel is exactly what you should feel. And I want you to see the face of that shaman, that facilitator, checking that everything's okay, listening to your experience, answering any questions that you may have that you couldn't make sense of your experience. And then it's time to leave this forest. And I want you to imagine leaving the forest with a feeling of clarity. That clarity is who you are and how you will be. And then imagine returning to the present, listening to my voice here in this moment, feeling refreshed, renewed, and perhaps changed in some way, in a positive way. You're feeling energized, and perhaps even slightly transformed. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Get a sense that all parts returning to the present, but with more clarity, guidance, and a deep sense of gratitude and love for yourself. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.